Good morning. No, Mel. I am not playing my skin flute. Melissa, good morning. Hope you're all doing well this morning. And remember, I wear that hat. There. Rylan, good morning. Hope you are doing well. Blue Mermaid, good morning. Pink Camo, good morning. Rylan, I've been in your live streams for so long. Well, good morning anyways. Scott B, good morning. Hope you were all doing well. Gazap, Cheryl Lynn, good morning. Amanda K, good afternoon. Secret lady, shh, she's a secret. Good morning. Hold on a second. You gotta remember to turn that stupid space heater off. Good morning, Mike. Allah Akbar to everyone. Allah is great. I'm like, Allah is great. All hail Allah. Let's see here. Rylan, I just ate 2 whole hash browns from McDonald's. Okay. I can't remember the last time I've had hash browns from McDonald's. My wife and my children, they like McDonald's food, but I can't remember the last time I've had any. Nothing wrong with them. It's just I can't remember the last time I have. It's probably been well over a year. I'm not much of a fan of fast food in particular, but it's not bad. I just don't eat it. Pink Camo, Blue Mermaid, Faithful One. Ooh, trying to sneak in there when I wasn't looking there. You're doing well, Scott? Good. Good. Blue Mermaid in the UK. Not many McD's are open here. Judah, good morning. 1 a.m. in Sydney. Well, aren't you up late? Well, thank you for staying up to join in on the stream this morning, Judah. I appreciate it. You know what I did have? I was just thinking about this, about the fast food, is I had a burger from Carl's Jr. It was about a week ago. Probably a little over a week now. 8 or 9 days ago. I had a burger from Carl's Jr. It wasn't that bad. I actually liked it. So Carl's Jr. and Hardee's are the same restaurant chain, depending on where you live in the U.S. I don't know I don't think they have any Hardee's restaurants outside of the United States, but it's the same company. Let's see here. Rupal, good morning. All is well here, where I am. Me and my wife finally got approval from our, what do you call that? It's the person who, our insurance company, somebody at the insurance company actually has to approve it. I can't remember is it adjudicator? I can't remember. All right. Well, anyways, so we're going to get my son and my daughters tested for the coronavirus antibody. I've already had it done, but my wife, and so is my wife, but we got approval to get both of them tested. In our state, it's not free. You have to pay for it, and the insurance has to approve it. I can't remember. I think it's an adjuster, isn't it? I can't remember. I'd have to ask her, and she's not here, obviously, with me right now. Blue Mermaid, both your children are now vegetarians. By default, I'm vegetarian too. Well, good luck with it, Blue Mermaid. My daughter is still a vegetarian. When she was born, we made a conscious effort to not feed her meat. And we said, look, when she gets older, if she decides that she wants to be remain a vegetarian, she can. And she has decided that she's had a couple of times in different occasions, she's had things that she was curious about. Like she had I think she had shrimp once or a lobster. But besides that, she's just like, well, she just decided that, she wants to remain a vegetarian. So she is. It's a lot healthier living. But Ripple loves to catch me live, but been a bit busy here. Yeah, well, I'm the same way. I always make time for to do these Saturday mornings, but I understand that. Let's see here. Hardee's on the East Coast. Scott B, you have Hardee's over there. I remember when I was a kid and growing up in the Minneapolis, Twin City area. I used to go to see my grandmother who lived in South St. Paul, and down the street from her was a Hardee's. And I'd never seen a Hardee's anywhere else except for the one that was near my grandmother's house. So I thought it was like an independent small chain. And back then, it very well may have been separated from Carl's Jr. I mean, I never heard of Carl's Jr. until I moved out to the West Coast. But I always go there to the Hardee's because they used to have this mushroom Swiss burger. And as a kid, I was like, oh, it's the only place I could ever find it. It was really good. Zelda from Boring, Oregon. Good morning, Zelda. Rylan, the coronavirus season is just about to end where you are. Oh, I hope so. Debbie from Manitoba, Canada. Love the chats. Well, good morning, Debbie. I hope you are doing well. Hello from the other side. Other side, yellow in England. I think maybe. Ooh. Shnisha Bloom, good morning. Gayla baking a chocolate cake this morning. Ooh. My daughter's going to make me cookies later. She gave me a whole list of things to buy at the store. And she loves to bake. I can't bake. I can cook. I can do everything except for bake. Baking is not my forte. But she's going to make me cookies later. Chocolate chip cookies. And then I got her white chips. Most people, I guess, call them white chocolate. But I refuse to call it chocolate because there's no cacao in it at all. It's not really chocolate, but, to each their own, I guess. Emily, good morning. Everyone just waking up, going to be quiet. Love you all. Thank you, Emily. Appreciate it. Mel, oops, I didn't think you were coming on. Oh, I always every Saturday, Mel, I'm here. Can you play the game School with Will? Rylan, I'm missing something there. Can we play the game School with Will? I don't know what that is, Ryland, but sure, I guess. Amanda K, good morning. I have high hopes for living. Good. Everybody should have high hopes for living. Sorry, I'm still scrolling through the chat here. I'm trying to catch up. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Saying good morning to them. Grandkids will eat cake. Jacqueline, good morning. Think of Lisa 54. Good morning. I hope I didn't miss anybody, and if I did, I am truly sorry. Wow, that's zap. Some YouTube channel. I forgot the name. She's safe. Bet Will make great brownies? No, I can't. I can't bake, Zelda. It's one of those things. Will, did you ever bake 420 brownies? Nope. My friends have made them for like, made a whole pan full of them and then wrapped them all up and handed them out. I will neither admit nor deny to enjoying the hell out of them. But no, I can't bake. It's just one of those things. It's just, I can do just about everything else. I can't bake. Every time I try to bake something, it doesn't turn out right. Now that's with an exception. I can make some really great sourdough bread. My mother-in-law got me like a sourdough starter kit. It came with like 3 different packets of different sourdough starters that date back to like the 1500s. And I've been making sourdough for years, but I hardly ever make it now because I just don't have the time. But every once in a while, I go in and add a little bit more flour to the starters. Good morning, Alan. Long time no see. I hope you've been doing well, sir. Oh, Madison. Yeah, Cece over on Crime and Coffee with Cece. I always want to say Crime with Cece, but Coffee with Cece. She posted a video about that. They found Madison. I didn't beyond what she put in her little video this morning. I don't know if she released that to everyone or if it was just the Patreon supporters. But she may have released it to everybody afterwards. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to read much more into it than that. Make a country song? I could play my life in it. My life would make a country song, Ryland. Can we have a quiz, Will? Love that. That was fun. Sure. I mean, I don't have anything here in front of me. I mean, I don't know if we can do it today, Carla. I mean, I can pull something up. Give me a minute. That one ain't gonna work. Love in the background, Amanda. And good morning, Amanda. Leanne. Lena girl. Lori Vallow is crazy. Yeah, she is cray cray for sure. And it gets even more crazy as things go on. So, speaking of Lori Vallow, I don't know if any of you were able to watch my video from yesterday. It was on Charles Vallow when he makes the report of Lori disappearing. She stole his truck from the airport and vanished. Took the kids and cleaned out a lot of the personal belongings. Took all his clothes, took the service dog, and was just gone. This is from the home in Gilbert, Arizona. If you remember back to the video footage of Lori when Charles, this is a couple months later almost, when Charles was killed at her home, there in the driveway of that home, she still had Charles's truck. And she was driving Charles's rental car, the one that he had to get his bishop or whatever from his church to go take him the next day to go get that rental car. He still had that, and she still had his truck that was in the driveway. Somebody asked me about that, and I just wanted to clarify. Yes, that the burgundy truck that was in the driveway was Charles's truck. She still had it almost 2 months later in the driveway of her new place where she had been for 3 weeks with her brother, Alex and Tylee and JJ. So, Blue Bell. Good morning. Good morning, K-Love. I don't know why. All of a sudden, this thing keeps on stopping. It's like the feed is stopping. Hope it's not showing up that way for you, everybody else. I have it on low latency. All I heard was Maddie didn't want to disclose her location, so I suspect she called home. I don't know, Emily, but I'm just glad she's alive and safe. It's just kind of weird. I think there's probably more to it behind, and I was kind of suspicious when the story first came out that her mother didn't know anything about where she had gone, and I was just like, okay. And then her car was found at the church parking lot with all her belongings in it, but that was across the street from the place where she was actually supposed to be. Something just what information was out there up to this point just didn't match, at least for me. But then again, I kind of look at everything with a questioning, eye. I was like, oh, I don't know about this. There's got to be more to it. I was looking for everything except for aliens in this one. Something happened. Something just didn't match up. Yeah, missed something there. Yeah, Rupel and Carla. I'd have to have more planning to actually do the trivia because I have it saved on my computer, but pulling up the other screen here, I just don't see it right here on the top of my feed. Of course, that happens when a 3-year-old comes in here and he watches Mickey Mouse cartoons, while I'm working. And so when I opened up the other screen, the first thing that popped up was Mickey Mouse's Playhouse. So the tab was still open. The second tab was still open on the screen. But I will make a point to, and I will put it down. We will do it next weekend for sure. get back on here. Craziest case I've ever seen. Yes, I've seen that video. Poor man. Yeah. Yeah, me and Samantha, we've known about that the chest cam footage and that actual incident because that incident report actually came up when we were researching the case. We found that there was an incident report from the Gilbert Police Department on this one day, but it was referenced in the actual investigation for when they were looking into Alex Cox for the murder of Charles. And we're like, what police report is it? We had no idea what the actual police report was, but as we dug into it, then we found out that there was a call for the welfare check on Lori, and that welfare check and the papers that he had filed it all came around in a circle. It's like, oh shit. Oh, wait a minute. She cleaned out the house, his bank account, and everything else. Left him with $7, what he said in the video, and took $35,000. So he couldn't make payroll for his employees, and was gone. And then here, a month and a half later, she pops up again on the radar, and he's still using a rental car, and somehow. That what happened in the house. I have my theories. Can't prove them though. Of how, why he would allow her to take his rental car to go, take his son to school, and the reason why he's there to take his son to school. I mean, the entire thing just screams. It was a setup. Can you listen to Brendan Urie music? I love him. I write it down. I can listen to anybody's music. I can't listen to it on a stream though because copyright laws. Brendan Urie. Listen. Do it after the stream. Good morning, Kathy. Hope you are doing well. Ginger Anderson, good morning. Tasha May, I think she had plans on returning, but because Mom reacted so quickly when they got back to her car, they seen the cops and panicked and set it in, and they took off. That very well could have happened, Tasha. There is footage. From what I believe, from what I understand, I should start off, back up, rewind. From what I am led to believe is the video camera from the store across the street of the church, that thing records 24 hours a day, and they've released all of 3 minutes of the total video footage. So you never see if anybody went into the parking lot before or after her car was, found there. They just show, that one little bit. So that very well could have happened. It's a good theory. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough, what happened. I mean, I don't want to speculate too much. Good morning, Kevin, from South Carolina. The Arizona police were a bit condescending when dealing with Charles, probably because the domestic disputes are so common. Yes, Gayla. But then again, from what I understand from, friends of mine who are in law enforcement is, like the initial part where it was kind of condescending, and they have so much time and they have to try to keep people narrowed in because otherwise they'll go off in different directions with what they feel. People feel like, this is important information. They try to keep them, focused on, okay, how did she threaten you again? When he starts talking about the LDS church and all these other things, and he's like, okay, but tell me how did she threaten you again? And then he's like, okay. And then he got to the point, it's like, oh, and yesterday she said she was going to murder me. or have me murdered, and she had the power to do it. So, condescending, yes, somewhat, but it's more of a way for the police to keep the investigation going. But Mel, I have a small Aussie slang quiz, Will. All right. Anybody want to play an Aussie slang? Try to figure out what the Aussie slang is in reference to. Good morning, Vicky. Dog's bollock. Trying to scroll up here. Queen C, good morning. Cat 73. Why do I believe it? They are a cult. They need to keep her in jail. Good morning, Mary. Chrissy, good morning. I'm well. Thank you for the well wishes. Well, you're welcome, sweetheart. I'm trying to find it. There we go. I didn't do anything wrong. Just one of his members got a bit upset about something I said to him. Brookwood Bruce, good morning. You going to watch the Melania Gibbs interview? Probably. To answer your question, Brookwood. I mean, I have it saved to actually auto record on my computer, so it'll screen capture and record it. I may not use any of the footage, but I'm always interested in what I guess I want to get all the information that I can to try to make sense of some of the things that I've learned up to this point that I haven't talked about, but we'll find out. I hope that church gets some real cameras installed. It could have been a big help in Maddie's experience. Yeah, that would have been nice. I was banned from AD stream last night. I'm really unhappy about it. I'm sorry. All right, so I had to scroll up to actually find the original comment there. Dog's bollock. Well, join the party. Dog's bollock. I was banned after asking one question. I've been on the banned list ever since, and frankly, I'll probably never go back to watch another one of his lives. And the question that I asked wasn't even all that controversial, or certainly wasn't hateful. I asked a simple question of why do you always communicate in such a manner where you are asking people for money? And at that time, it just seemed like every time I tried to watch his content back then was give me money. Give me money. Hey, these are the people who are giving me money. Why don't you give me money? Give me money. And I was just like, and then in his private groups on Facebook and then on Twitch, that's all everybody was doing. It was like a giant, I felt like I was in a nonstop like telethon for Jerry Lewis, for Jerry's kids. It's like, come on, you that one gave me $10. You can do more. Give me more. And I was like, wow. So I asked, like, why is this all about money? Why don't we talk about the actual cases? Because he did clickbait a lot in his live streams. He's since changed a lot of the names of his live streams, but it was like exclusive, new information. Excuse me. But I don't hate him. I think that there's a place for him, and apparently a lot of people like the way that he does his content, and if that works for them, they want to believe him. I wish he'd leave the Rooshchek family alone, though. I'm not going to tell him what to do. I'll leave that up to all the rest of my friends to do it. Zelda, I was fooled into joining a $5 group as I wanted to hear the content, but I got blocked. No refund. Jerk arsehole. Yeah. No. Act now. But wait. Call now. But wait. Act now. Isn't that true? Yeah, it's like it just felt like I was in the middle of a telethon for, I mean, in a lot of ways it very well just may be me, because I don't go out of my way to say, give me your money. If I don't get your money, I'm going to starve, or my little, doggy is going to starve, or whatever. I'm not going to beg people for money. There's more to life than money. Yeah. Could I use more money? Sure. Can we all use more money? Hell yeah. But I work for a living. Well, I do this now. And this is work. Trust me on that. A member of his called Joe the Cat played Ouija board. It spelled out murder. He believed he was going to get murdered. I said, Joe the Cat, hopefully it's quick and not long and painful. And you got blocked for that? Wow. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, dog. That's just, All right, well, I'm sure that we'll find out, soon, that there's some other motive behind it. I mean, I know people who've been on there, and just said hello and have been banned. I'm pretty sure that, well, not that he'd ever want to be on there anyways, but I'm sure Martin's been banned from, just about everything that, he puts out. But Martin's pretty smart. He knows what he's doing. I think all the trolls like him. Just say hello and banned. Yeah. I don't want this to be a dog on him, but like I said, I don't have anything against the man. I have some serious issues with what he says and does, but I ignore his content and his. It's really easy to see that, when I do a video and in the comment section, I'll get, extreme hateful comments. I mean, I'm not stupid. I mean, I know exactly who is saying these things, and I know exactly where they're coming from, because I've got a list in a notebook of different screen names that people use, and I can, looky there. Jonathan P is also over on AD's channel. I make anything about, Christopher Watts. He's one of the first ones to always be here to tell me that I'm full of shit. I'm like, okay, great. But they can't have not one reference of me ever coming to them on their channel and spreading hate to them. Not once. I've never done it. I'm not going to lower myself to that level to do the things. And I certainly hope that no one who is a subscriber or supporter of my content would ever do anything like that to them as well. So I'm not going to play those games. Well, you're welcome, dogs. I don't know if I don't know if are we giving you sympathy, or are we more of an understanding? I think it's a little bit of both. What you say and what you do reflect in your character. Yeah. I am a firm believer, travel to eternity and good morning. I am a firm believer in treat others as you wish to be treated. Sunny Sandy. There are several YouTubers who talk nothing about um, nothing but how broke they are, and actually say what they want you to buy for them. Yeah, that's true, Sandy, and I have run across those channels from time to time, where it is basically, I'm picking my words here. It is basically, someone asking for something, and it's more. I guess Jerry Telethon is the best example. Best way to put it. I have definitely seen them. Mary, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Mary. Morning, Tammy. Well, thank you. I don't have time for anything else. Isn't that what we really want in this life? I mean, we want a friendly chat like this. We want to we want to know that somebody else cares about us, and we want to have our voices heard. I understand that, and that's what this entire thing is. For on Saturday mornings. That's why I don't really have topics a lot. But when it comes to the content that I make, I don't have time for it. I want to put out the information that is factually supported. People like it. People don't like it. People agree with it. People don't agree with it. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I'll tell you exactly where you can get the information. I'm not going to walk you through it to the exact page or anything else to get the information, but I'll show you exactly where to get it. I'll tell you where the source is. It's in every one of my videos now. I don't put it at the end of the video anymore. I put it in the comment section because it's so much easier to update it that way than have to keep on updating the end screen. Which, in case anybody who's a Patreon supporter will notice that the end screen on my videos is off. Some days it's got a complete list of supporters. Other days it doesn't, because I had two files two end screens that were made that were exactly the same. They were titled the same, and I kept on clicking. Sometimes I click on the old one, and sometimes I click on the new one. It's just, Patreon supporters come and go, and I understand that, and especially now. I mean, we're all living in strange times, and we're all just trying to get along, and get by. Dreams PS4 background. You got there, Will? This is actually a constellation. My friend works as he's getting his master's degree in astronomy. I have the actual name for it. I have to pull it up though. There's a star in there somewhere. Don't ask me where. That's on my wife's computer. I typed in the name for the file and it's not there. But there's a star somewhere. You probably can't see it. It's like up here towards the top. So my wife tells me it's up over my left shoulder. So this is my left shoulder. So it's up over here somewhere. There's a star up there that's actually named after it's got some stupid number. And I say the stupid number because they all do. A lot of them just have numbers. But they discovered not him, but his actual class. They actually discovered it with some telescope. I think it was in Belize or someplace. I mean, they go to the University of Washington, UW, but they actually were I believe that they were in Belize that time, and they actually discovered it in some telescope there. I'm not an astronomer. I don't know how that all that works. I just know that there's a coordinates to it, and he posted the picture and online, and I think you can probably find this one or another one similar to it that actually focused in more up above. All right, this area here, but it's that area down in the corner, and it's actually the other photos online. I'm terrible at this, so it's up there somewhere. Thank you, Jamie, and good morning. Thank you, Half Rudder, for the super chat. I appreciate that. I just watched you and Cece now, Queen C. Oh, thank you. There's other good channels out there. You should check out Red Rum. I don't know if she's in here today. I haven't seen her yet. But Red Rum does a great job. And so does Miss Murder, Australia. She does a great job for cases that are, she does a lot of cases that are actually in the United States as opposed to in Australia. And let's not forget Mel. Wherever she went, she's funnier than hell. She does a great job as well. I'm not going to forget you, Mel. I don't know how I could. You brighten up my day so much. You have no idea. I can be having a terrible day and sit down and I can watch, one of Mel's videos, and it's like, it just seems to, it changes your outlook, and it's like, hey, you know what? Yeah, Kathy, I completely understand it. I want everybody to, to make it through all this. I'm not asking, for anybody for anything ever, but I really understand. A lot of people, it's tough time, really tough times. My friend he's on week 7 now, since he's been unemployed, and he hasn't gotten anything yet. Week 7, he's been approved, and everything else, and he's just waiting for the first one to come through. And then the state that I live in, Washington, they actually suspended all claims and all payouts for 2 days because of massive fraud. Stories all over the paper about people, massive, unemployment fraud. People have been hit for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 worth in claims, and they paid out these things. And these people are like, but I'm like a firefighter. I've never actually filed for unemployment because they're, first responder. Broken Halo, yeah, and good morning, Halo. Broken Halo. Sorry if I missed you before. You definitely got to check out Karen. Good morning. But Mel, MEL space MEL, Mel. Mary got it spelled up there. I love Mel. Zelda Mel too. It's good content. We don't and Coffee with Cece. We don't get into the drama. I mean, and on top of that, if you're looking for another one, there's always True Crime Loser and the Schmieda fam. Scott Sharp over there on True Crime Loser. He does a great job. I don't see him too much in the comment section though. And he never gets into the drama. He's got better things to do with his life, and rightfully so. I started watching Mel a few days ago, and I never laughed so hard at videos aside from watching my favorite true crime comedian TCL. Yeah, see, Chrissy's absolutely correct. And Scott's got a channel where he also does his stand-up comedy now. I mean, he's always had it. He's just never promoted it before until now. So now when you go to TCL, right in the comment section, it actually has the link to his comedy. Lie, cry, horn. Yeah. a half rudder love TCL. It's funny. My wife actually came up with an idea. She wanted me to do a video where I do a parody of some of my favorite channels and their intros. Where Scott's always like, welcome. He always does this salute. And he's always wearing the black hat. Now it's kind of, we used to have like the sound deadening equipment and the flag in the background. Now it's either him in the basement, looks like he's been locked. I think maybe his girlfriend, Beyonce, I think she locked him in the basement. I don't think he's down there by his own free will. At least I was thinking that until he posted the video of him outside with all the vines in the background. So I think he might be okay. Aficionados. Irish Eyes, good morning. It will mean so much to Mel to hear about your kind words today. She's been going through a rough time lately. Well, I hope that she, everything changes around for her. We all love and hope the best for Mel. He's been banished from the living room. True. I gotta scroll. Kathy Drew, good morning. Colleen, good morning. I'm having a heck of a time here with this stream because it's going and it'll just like tick 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 and then all of a sudden it just takes off. So I'm having a heck of a time trying to follow some of those comments, everybody. I'm really sorry. Let's see, Chrissy, there's there you are. How you been? Been worried about you. Glad to see you here. 73 watching, 29 likes. Yep, that's about the story of my life there, Carla. I see you see me. Like that. My mom used to have a personalized license plate for her car because she used to get so many speeding tickets. So her license plate was OICU. That was the license plate that she got for her car. Finally caught alive again. It's been a while. Yeah, it has. I hope you're doing well. And welcome to the stream this morning. Mine was doing the same thing earlier with comments. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, but so it like right now it's I can see it that the stream is like tick tick, comment, and then all of a sudden, boom, like 40 of them will go by. Paula Barnes, good afternoon from the UK. Epitome. And that I'm reading there, and all of a sudden it's just gone. Everything. All new comments now. I'm glad you're getting better too, Chrissy. I went back out and up. I usually do it on the way out. Yeah. I'm not trying to forget anybody or not say hello. Paul at reporting live from my sofa is funny as well. I watched one of his videos last night, but it was probably 11, 12, something like that. I think it was about Madison. I am still here, in case you are new. I am just not on camera, but I'm still here. Oh, you'd like it, Zelda. He does a damn good job. I like the content. I don't get to watch it as much because I mean, there's only so many channels I can possibly catch up with in a daily basis. I guess I could be like some of the younger generation, glue a cell phone to my hand, so I always have I can have the content everywhere I go. But during the weekdays, right now it's just me and my son. So I would much rather interact with him. Plus, I'm his teacher and everything else now. So in the morning we get up, we have breakfast, and then after breakfast, he gets to play his um I can't Will what the heck is it? Pink Fong is the name of the cartoon. He has to watch a little bit of Pink Fong after breakfast for about 20 minutes. And then we work on his alphabet and writing his name, colors and shapes. And then we do story sing along time. He don't like my singing. Daddy's not a good singer. He just kind of stares at me when we're doing the songs. But and then I interact with him, and then I don't. He doesn't. Most of the time he doesn't take a nap. So I interact with him. We play with his trucks or his cars, or we go out to the park, or we do something to keep us busy. In the evening's the only time I ever get the chance to watch anything on YouTube or keep up with creators, what they're doing. I'm still here lurking, listening, and cleaning up. Yeah. I don't think my house has ever been this clean, Kathy. I have been cleaning like there's no tomorrow. As soon as I turn the camera back on, I'll show you guys what my project today is. I'm actually going to get something crossed off the honey to-do list today. Oh, Pink Camel would like a cleaning service too. Okay, so hopefully this doesn't mess up the too much. But later on today, after the stream, obviously, I'm going to get something crossed off my honey to-do list. Now, in case you don't know what a honey to-do list is basically a list of things that my wife has been, asking me very nicely to please get these things done around the house. Now, we've only lived here for 2 years, so it's only taken me 2 years to get this project done, but I'm almost there. I'm going to move the camera here for a second. Okay. Here's me, the green screen. That there is the new screen door. Well, storm door. I'm putting on the house. And that crossed off my list of things that I have to get done today. Steve, Melissa Nolan, she's got a thunderstorm down there in Louisiana. I'm getting this done before the storms hit here. Storm door, storms. But me and my son went and did that yesterday. We went and picked it up, and I'm putting on a storm door on the front of the house. Used to have one of those really rickety aluminum screen doors. This one's got the glass that slides up and down in it. It's got a screen at the top, not at the bottom, which is a bonus. You could flip it either way, glass at the top or screen at the bottom. But we can have the screen at the top because we have dogs. They always shove their little wet noses on it. So the screen will be at the top. So and hopefully that it might last, and my son won't want to poke it or push things through it. 3-year-olds. Oh, I'm gonna show my hubby your honey to-do list. 4 years on a storm door. I'm only at year 2, but I'm gonna put one on the front of the house, and then I'm gonna put one here on the studio. Get this done, and then the next thing on the list is I'm getting rid of well, there's two-car garage doors here in this building, and then there's another 2-car garage that was added on to the side of this. But I'm going to get rid of the garage doors, and I'm putting in slide glass doors. My friend is still working on the electrical. He got busy this week, so he couldn't come over to finish that up. I'm way past the cleaning peak. I'm waiting for the second wave. It's going to happen. Hopefully it's not as harsh the second time around. You should investigate the Delphi case and solve it. Mike, it's on the list. You can go to my community tab and vote for it. I asked people what case would they like me to do an update on, and Delphi case is definitely on there on the list. So I also sent it out to Patreon supporters, and I put it on Twitter as well. But yeah, I wish I could solve the Delphi case, but I think that's something more left to the professionals. I'm not a professional investigator, but I know how to find information that's documented. Chrissy, yes, Will and Crystal are awesome. Oh, for our podcast? Yeah. She enjoys it, doing the podcast with me on we still haven't found a hosting site. We were going to have it on we narrowed the list down to podcast to upload to. We haven't found one yet, and we're trucking along. And every week that we go, that's another episode that's behind that we haven't uploaded to a streaming service. Besides they're all on YouTube, but I highly doubt we're going to go back to SoundCloud. Let's see. Zelda, he spent $20K on a ham Radio Shack, $10,000 on a generator, and on other stuff, but anything but hang a storm door, sitting 4 years waiting to get hung. Think I'll hang him next. Really, a ham operator, Zelda? We are cleaning out my wife's grandfather's estate, and this man was a huge hoarder of ham radio equipment and electronics. My gosh. And this stuff is in northern Idaho, first off, it's nowhere near me, or boring. But he had a huge amount of stuff for, I don't know why he had all this stuff, but the garage was, it used to be a 3-car garage. He turned it into just ham radio, and he would buy electronics and then salvage parts off them. And then he has all these bins with capacitors and everything else in it. And we had somebody come through, and they're like, most of this was outdated in the 90s. There isn't much of a value here. You could scrap it for the metal, but most of it, wouldn't even be valuable to a ham operator today because technology has just advanced. Are those his calls? There's a lot of people out there. You're both hams? That's cool. I never was up there when he was actually doing, when he was on it. I mean, if he wasn't on the actual, doing the radio thing, the ham radio, if he wasn't there at home doing that, whenever he was in his vehicle working, he was a driver. So he had his CB always going. I know her grandmother was Little Country Girl, but I can't remember what his handle was. or any of what their call letters numbers were, but they liked it. Mike Stevens likes to collect palladium. It's a precious metal, isn't it? Platinum. Anyway, it went bye-bye again. Got him a 4K antenna for Christmas. Wow. As long as it's something that keeps him, keeps him busy, keeps him active. He even has his own repeater on top of the mountain. Police and fire use it whenever it's busy radio. That's cool. Good morning, Audra. As in records, I have a huge record collection. Metal. Oh. Platinum records. Platinum is metal. Okay. Now you're going to have to collect welfare because you spent all your money on ham radio equipment. I had no idea some of that stuff was so expensive. We have to clean out the estate because there on the property up there is 6 outbuildings, and 3 of them are in the condition where if we don't clean out what's inside of them now, we give it maybe another winter, and the roofs are going to fall in on them and crush everything that's inside of them. Because he's got 2 of them are just filled with furniture and stuff that he's built over the years. Because that's what after he retired, he did the ham radio, and he did short run trucking, and then he retired from that because he was his wife became ill. So then he worked as a crossing guard, and he did he ran the train at oh, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that very much. He ran the train at Silverwood theme park in Idaho, but one of the buildings we want to really get into is got family heirloom like furniture and stuff, and not just stuff that he built, but other things that have been passed down through the generations. I know we're having to pay for this though. We have to clear out the buildings and bulldoze them and haul the stuff away because we're going to be eventually selling the property up there because nobody in the family wants it. It's in the middle of nowhere, so we figured that somebody would want it. But the major problem is, is it's off of city services. So there's no city services. You have to have, septic system, and there's no water. You have to, the water, we looked into it from the city just to bring water to the property, and if we were to partial it out, I think the nearest main water line from the city to get out there is like 18 miles. It's in the middle of nowhere. Good morning, Miss Jagger, Mick Jagger. Have a good day, Pink Camo. Kathy won't clean for you? Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think she's going to come here and clean for me either. I think she's got her hands full over there. Your hub gets rid of stuff, doesn't hoard like I do. I'm bad. You hoard fabric, but got rid of most of making masks. That's cool, Zelda. My grandmother used to hoard a lot of fabric, but that she lived through the Great Depression. It was just something that you never got rid of anything. So if one as her kids grew up, if they wore out a pair of jeans or a shirt or something like that, she'd cut them up into like squares of a certain size, and then she'd throw them all into these baskets, like wicker baskets, and then they were stacked up, and the wicker baskets got changed over to as the children moved out of the house, she had rooms that were just storage for fabric and sewing supplies, and then the other room had actual sewing machines and tables for making things. Excuse me. I don't remember her actually ever making anything for me though. She may have when I was younger, but she I know when she died. Wow, that was fun cleaning out that house because her and grandfather were both hoarders. And he was losing his mind though. Used to make pillowcases and blankets for sick kids, but my cats won't stay out of my sewing room, so I can't do sick kid stuff. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I would be a beer hoarder if I didn't drink it. I can tell you about this Gazap really quick. They used to have this restaurant here where I live that they were just a one off. They had no franchises, nothing at all. But they used to have a beer club. They had 99 bottles of beer on the wall, and that was their thing. If you had to, and you had a checklist, and you signed up for it, you had to drink one of every one of the beers on the wall, and some of them were absolutely disgusting beers. But these were from around the world, from everywhere you could imagine. And there were beers that were like anisey beers from the Philippines. They were just vile. You pour them out, and it was like syrup coming out of a bottle. And these were brand new beers, not old, been sitting around for 50 years beers. This is how they actually produce it. It was disgusting. But me and my friend actually completed all 99 bottles of beer on the wall, and we got our names engraved on a plaque. And then the owner operators of the place ended up selling it, and a local hospital bulldozed the entire thing. It's now a parking lot. We miss that place. They had great food too. Ooh, don't hoard shoes. Just too many. Just buy too many. I guess if I hoard anything, it'd probably be T-shirts. I have literally hundreds and hundreds of T-shirts. And so much so, I put so many T-shirts up on in there. We have a large walk-in closet. This is her side of the closet. The other side is mine. But I put so many T-shirts on the hanger that it actually collapsed and it pulled the entire shelving unit and everything out. My wife is trying to get me to get rid of them. And I know I should. But Dee Dee, good morning. You hoard books? Yeah, I guess if I have another hoarding issue, that'd probably be the next one would be books. We have a 65 by 45 steel building for my junk and motorhome RVs, but I'm sick to too much stuff. Want it gone, but I need spinal surgery. Mm. Well, Zelda, as far as your health, I hope that there's a solution that is soon, to come soon for you, so to relieve you of your pain and everything else. But yeah, what's really going on, Dee Dee? Not much. I'm definitely make a friend. We're all broken souls. My halo is broken. That's funny. Chrissy hoards makeup, and everyone laughs at me having it in a medical facility. I don't know how much you have, Chrissy, but I'll tell you about when my sister passed away. We went to her house to clean out her, well, it's a townhouse, it's basically a glorified giant apartment. But we went into, she had a 3 bedroom, like townhouse apartment thing. And one of the bedrooms was locked. And when we finally got into it, because we didn't know where the key was, and we finally got in there, the entire place was just packed full of makeup. One whole room. That's a lot of makeup. Was abused, beaten, hated, very poor. So having a little money feels great, but we give most of it away to help others. Don't mean to brag so much, but joy is right. I will eventually end up giving everything away, except for my T-shirts. I'm not kidding. I have T-shirts in there that go back to at least the early 1990s. They're concert T-shirts that for concerts I went to. They don't make them anymore. That's why I've kept them all these years. They may be old, and falling apart, but where am I going to get another one? Will, have you ever thought about writing a fictional crime murder book? No, no, I've never thought about doing that. It's a good question, though. I've never thought about doing that. I've had people who've wanted to write a book about my life. A lot of people, were like, if you sat down and you actually tried to chronologically, list everything that I've done in my life, one of my friends is she's an author, but she writes I don't want to call them love romances, but they're books meant more for tweens, the late teens, early 20s, kind of like that area of like, everyone's life. But she was like, if we actually sat down and we wrote out everything that you've done in your life at this point, people would be surprised and really surprised because you've lived a life of like, more than what some people live. And I'm like, well, just always, been adventurous and I've done a lot of things. I don't see it as any, different than anybody else. I know people haven't done as much, but I gave my full stimulus check to my daughter for her wedding. Random. That was nice of you, Kathy. And I'm sure she appreciated every bit of it. Um, I'm not going to get the stimulus check. Don't qualify. It's just like the last. I think it was the last one was during Obama or what, or something like that. I think it was. But I didn't qualify for that one either. Broken Halo didn't get no stimulus either. Uh, I don't think that it's bragging Zelda. I mean, to me, talking about something and then trying to hold it over other people. But what you're talking about is not. I don't think it's bragging. It's stating where you came from and where you are today. And that you have the fortune to be, and or you have the means to be able to help other people. And that's very nice of you and very thoughtful of you to be able to do that. Used it. Don't have any now. Michelle, no, no stimulus either. Someone pointed out I'm always bragging. I don't see that. Blue Mermaid's you know picture icon is always a mermaid in water. Just leave it to Beaver. I was wondering where you were. Good morning. Now, that is up to you, Zelda. If you decide that you need to take things to that extreme and choke your husband with both your hands, just remember it's premeditated at this point because you posted it online. I don't think anybody else is bragging that you're bragging either. If they do, they're no friend of yours. They're no friend of mine. I don't see it as bragging. I can't believe the amount of your chatters who didn't get stimulus checks yet. Well, I'm never getting it. I know people who are on Social Security who still haven't received it because they have to mail out the checks. And according to the government, the IRS themselves, here in America, the IRS, even their own statistics, I think they've only mailed out 70%, and they're already looking at trying to do a second round before they even get the first round done. I don't know. You know, it'd be nice. I'll take the money. They want to give it to me. And I was told that, well, maybe what the problem is you didn't sign up as a non-filer. You can go onto the IRS website and sign up as a non-filer. Well, I went to the IRS website. I looked at the information. I'm like, that ain't gonna help, but I'll do it anyways. And then when I checked on it, it said information unknown. Oh well. You got laid off too, Zelda? I don't. I do humble myself a lot, Broken Halo, and I think it's important to be humble. But I'm crying now. Maybe you all make too much money for stimulus, Will. Well, Kathy, in my case, I'm an independent contractor, and the IRS considers when I was working, I was an independent contractor, and they take a look at your total income. Well, I didn't get all that. I got this much, but my income was that much. They don't see that other people. I had other people that were getting paid, so I only file my taxes every 2 years. So I was disqualified because of what the IRS is reported to the IRS that is paid to me, which is ridiculous because I work for the government. I was a subcontractor of the government, and then they paid. I was paid as a subcontractor, and I'm like, they already know this information. Why do I have to keep on filing this stuff? Well, apparently, you have to keep people in jobs. So, I don't make enough. I don't make too much money. Melinda, good morning. Yours was deposited April 15th. That's cool. I know my wife got it. I don't get it though. We always file separately because my taxes, filing head of household or um, you know jointly, it never works out for us to file jointly. Never has, never will. But I'm sorry, Will, and to all the others who hasn't gotten a stimulus check. Well, thank you, Blue. But it's all right. Blue will survive. I just hope that everybody else. I'm sure there are people out there who I know there are who need it a lot more than me. My friend, like I was saying earlier, I mean they would love a stimulus check. They haven't gotten theirs yet either, and it's been 7 weeks since he filed for unemployment, and he still hasn't even gotten unemployment. And unemployment benefits, in case you live in someplace else in the world, unemployment benefits here, the way it works is you pay into that. You are taxed, and they take your money from you and they put it aside. So when, in case you do become unemployed, that you can have somewhat means to get by until you get another job. Well, it's been 7 weeks and nothing. If it wasn't for the Salvation Army and other outreach, charity programs right now, they would all starve to death. How long were they supposed to go without food? Great. Their landlord said, we won't, charge you guys any rent, in the meantime. He is very fortunate in that aspect, but it is based on income. But Kathy, the way that the government sees it is they're like, okay, this is your income, and this is what this is what you reported as your income, and this is what we have on our records as your income. And like every time the stimulus thing comes up, like when it came up on Obama, I didn't qualify. I didn't qualify for this one. Now there's a chance that I could qualify depending upon how the next thing works out, and what their regulations and rules are to it. I mean, but it always gets tripped up. So every time I file my taxes, every 2 years, I always have to, I know the likelihood is, I'm going to get audited because they're looking at, look, you got this giant pile of money. Why are you only paying taxes on this much for yourself and paying Social Security on this, and unemployment and, state and, you know, FICA and everything else on all that? Why are you only doing this much when you got this much? Well, because they don't see it the way it's reported is I get a 1099 every year. You might get a W-2. I get a 1099 as an independent contractor. And then I'm responsible for paying the people who worked below me, who worked for me. But that's not the way that the government sees it, though. But what is really good, though, out of this last stimulus package was they actually included people who worked for Uber and Lyft and a couple other industries that normally would have been completely ignored. So that was good. And I mean, it's not like something I wake up, in the morning I worry about either. Yeah, sure. Again, I love the money, but don't have it. I'm not going to, waste time, worrying about it. I have an accountant who takes care of all that. I'm like, I just bring them receipts and say, how much do I pay? You live in West Virginia, so it's really not surprising about my unemployment. My state is last on everything. I'm sorry, Kathy. Oh, my friends are in Pennsylvania. It ain't any better there. If you're still waiting yourself, he was telling me that a lot of the people he knows who actually have been receiving their unemployment, they're still not getting that $600 that they're supposed to be getting from the federal government on top of their unemployment. At least that's what he was telling me last time I talked to him. I'm like, that sucks. Wild, wonderful West Virginia. Yeah. My granny used to live in 100 West Virginia. Been a long time though. There's William Shakespeare. How are you doing, William? Amazing Lover 96. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you are doing well. Blue Mermaid, I'm going stir crazy. You guys keep me going. Well, I'm glad that we're able to help. Amazing Lover. I remember going to Bridge Day Festival in West Virginia back in 2008. They have a bridge festival? Or is it like bridges and cards? I used to play a lot of cards with my grandparents. Bridge, pinochle, hearts, spades, cribbage. A lot of cribbage with my grandfather. He was kind of a mean grandfather. He used to take my points if I missed them. If I didn't peg right, he'd take them. Pinochle. How's Tim doing? We miss him. Yeah, so do I, Deb. He's doing as best as he can, going stir crazy like a lot of other people. He was going to try to come down this weekend, but it's Memorial Day weekend, so he didn't feel like driving down and having to put up with the traffic, going back. It's not so much coming this way; it's going back, because the freeways would be filled full of campers and everybody else out on the road, anyways. But he he's going to try to come down either next weekend or, well, he'll be coming down mid-June for sure. Let's see. It's where a bunch of stuntmen jump off this enormous bridge and parachute their way down. Wow. Well, that sounds cool. Very lucky I have a garden, but that's as far as I've done. 80 days without one outing. Hmm. Huge jar of strawberry jam. I got a lot of strawberries. I haven't done anything with them. My son eats them. If I let him into the garden, he'll eat them all right off the plants. I mean, I don't have to worry about pesticides or anything else, or a lot of dirt being on them because they come up through the what they call it, weed barrier. It's like a mesh and plastic that lays on top of the dirt, and then the plant comes up through it, so there's no weeds or anything around it. A lot of strawberries. I didn't plant them; they were here when we moved in. We planted. I think they're called Snow White or Mountain White or something like that. Strawberries, but that's only like two plants out of like the entire above ground bed in there. He loves that. Ooh, light feather. I like apricot and strawberry preserves. We've got a lot of apricots in this area. A lot of apricot trees. I don't have any here. The only fruit tree that we have is cherry, and we planted that ourselves, so it's only about 2 years old. We might get a couple cherries off it this year, but I doubt it. And I don't know the name of it. It's some wild heirloom variety of cherry tree that dates back to when the settlers came out west. It was part of a project to replant native species trees. So we put the cherry tree here. My mother-in-law's house, we planted kumquat, fig, and I can't remember there was another one, but I think it died. Where are those strawberry picks? I haven't taken any pictures of them. Strongly dislike, LOL. You don't like strawberries? Bluebell, I love fresh strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. We have blueberry bushes that I planted last year here. They're only about that tall, about that big around. At our old house, I had the whole front of the house just lined up with blueberries. Don't have any raspberries. Well, no, we have Oh man, what they call them? Blackberries. We have blackberries. I was like, what the hell are those things called? I'll take a picture of those later on. I know. No, actually, I don't. I have a picture of them when they're actually, because right now the vines are pretty bare. And but the blackberries, I have a picture of them last year, and you can see our beehives are in between each section where uh, the blackberries are. Hey, phone, I sent you a Facebook message. Had a question about research you did a few days ago. No big deal. I just didn't know if you got it. Tell your friends to weekly cert. Bye. Leave it to Beaver. I haven't. I've been on Facebook very sparingly in the last couple of days, so I will definitely check that afterwards, and I'll write it down just to make sure. To Beaver. I just got fresh strawberries. Going to make strawberry cobbler. Ooh, that sounds good. My son would love you for sure if you made that. He is a what my wife calls a berry boy. He loves his berries. Strawberries, raspberries. Doesn't like the blackberries too much. Raspberries, I think we're getting from California right now because like the blackberries here, they're not in season yet. They'll be plentiful come middle of next month. So they're about 2, maybe 3 weeks out, and then the berries will be starting to be right in there. And the reason why the bees don't necessarily like the berries, but they I mean they like them, but they we put the hives in between each section of the blackberries because it keeps other predators away. They don't like the thorns. You have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Time for my walk on the trail, trying to lose some of this quarantine weight. Bye all. Stay safe. You stay safe too, Kathy. And thank you for joining us today. Oh, don't like California strawberries? You don't? Oh, I don't remember the name of the farm that they've been getting them from, though. But I'm pretty sure they're California strawberries, though. Big strawberries. They're about that big. Humongous. They don't have a lot of flavor to them, though. My son likes them, though. So I'd rather have him eat strawberries and raspberries than potato chips and other unhealthy sugary sweets. His favorite things are apples, strawberries, and bagels. He loves bagels, blueberry bagels. We have a local bagel store. It's not too far from us. We go there and we buy a baker's dozen bagels at a time. That usually lasts him about a week, and he will mow through them. My wife is always constantly, like he eats a lot. Did our daughter eat this much? And I'm like, nope, nope. But he's a growing boy. Growing boy. He eats a lot. Cake is out of the oven. Smells good. Ooh. I wonder what time today my daughter's going to make cookies for me. I want to get one right out of the oven. Probably won't. I'll probably put in that door on. Well, I'll get that done today. And thank you, Caleb. I appreciate you putting the links in the links to everything in the actual comments. Do you? I don't know what happened to my brain there. It was like all of a sudden I got tied up on what I was trying to say. Have I ever cried during a scene when reading a book? Yeah. To tell you the truth, William, um, my friend that I was in the service with, his wife wrote a book about his life and his struggles with PTSD after after we left the service. And yeah, definitely, because it was like it brought back the memories of not only being there and going through that and everything else. It was very hard. He ended up taking his own life, and he left behind two children, a little boy, a little girl, and his wife, obviously. But to answer your question, yes. Men love to eat. What is it? That saying, a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Yeah, that might be. I mean, I've heard the saying light feather. Definitely, I've heard that saying before. But I don't know. I don't necessarily think of myself as a foodie or somebody who likes food. I mean, obviously, we all have to eat to survive. But my son, it's not that he's a finicky eater. He is. There's just certain things that he absolutely loves. Yeah. How is the book coming, Amazing Lover? Sounds like a powerful story you've read. That's really nice of you, Gayla, to feed everybody. So, what time's dinner? I don't want to make dinner. Last 3 nights, I am not kidding. I was on my own. I was supposed to make dinner for me and my son because my wife had to work late. I did not want to make dinner. I called Jimmy John's. I was like, Jimmy John's, bring me one of those lightning fast sandwiches. Like Feather is, she's tired of making dinner, you know? It is Leave It to Beaver. PTSD is nothing to joke around about. I've seen it destroy lives, but I've also seen it motivate and get people to do things that they wouldn't have done in a positive manner. I've seen people take their PTSD and somehow work through it to the point where they knew they needed to reach out and help others who were suffering with PTSD, and not just service connected PTSD. People suffer PTSD in multitudes of different ways. You really enjoy Jimmy John's? I got this. I was in the other night. Well, couple. No, that was 3 nights ago. 3 nights ago, the first night we ordered Jimmy John's, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, what am I going to make for dinner? I don't feel like cooking because then I'm like, if I cook anything, then I have to clean the kitchen, and I just got done cleaning the kitchen. I don't want to do it again, and I'm like, oh, what can I make this simple and easy? And I sat down and I was going through my email and I got this like, hey, don't forget about your Jimmy John rewards. I'm like, hell yeah, Jimmy John's. I'm calling Jimmy John's. Gayla Denson, I have a little PTSD too from my job, retired now. I understand, Gayla. My father-in-law, after, she's 40 years in law enforcement altogether, I think it was. That in corrections. Well, he was in law enforcement. He was in first. He was a prison guard. Then he was in law enforcement, and then he was a parole officer. And he has it, but he doesn't want to admit it. I see it. I see it in him all the time. Whenever we're out in public, and he sees something or hears something that is in a certain situation, it triggers, and you can see it in his face. My heart goes out to anybody who has to suffer with it. I've seen it. I've seen it way too much. Yes, PTSD is my few years in LA. Saw way too much. I couldn't do it. You did street patrol corrections in 911. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I've got enough friends who are in law enforcement now, and I don't know how they do it. I really don't. I couldn't imagine, you know, getting ready for work, leaving, going to work, and every day my family having to worry if I was going to make it home, that night. And in this world, it just seems like, more and more people, they distrust the law enforcement out there. And I'm not trying to make this a hoorah for the thin blue lines, but I mean, I have enough friends who work in law enforcement, and they're not bad people. There are bad apples in every type of employment out there, but I don't think I could put my family through it, or nor do I think I could, do it. Law enforcement, and I certainly couldn't do corrections like my father-in-law did. He worked in as a probation officer for high risk reoffenders. Some of those people, they scared the living crap out of everybody in his family whenever one of them went off the rails. Calls from children in 911 dispatch are the worst calls. I wouldn't want to deal with that either. Not a chance. Your mother is a narcissist and is and it was hell growing up. Still suffering at 59. Now, I've got some choice words about my mother. I haven't exactly been silent on it. Had a violent upbringing, so it was kind of normal for me. Lots of people hated me, but I am kind. Well, Gayla, I think you're a very nice, lady. I have nothing but, the respect for you. I'm sorry that people, ever treated you, that way, or anyone. Amazing lover. I have an uncle who's retired cop, and my cousin's husband is a cop in Atlanta. Well, that's cool. That's where YouTube creator Rich Grimes. He's a real estate agent in the Atlanta, Georgia area. That he put out a video last week that they did for a friend of his who's in hospice care. But his content is not anything directly on one subject. One week he's talking about his car collection because he really loves his cars, and they mean a lot to him. They're more than just a means of transportation. And then next week he's talking about how he was bullied and harassed as a child, and how it took him most of his life to get to this point, to get past it or to be able to deal with it in a positive manner. And then next week he's taking people to a festival. But he has great content though. If you want, look him up on YouTube. Rich Rich Grimes Grimes Grimes. Yeah, Grimes. Make sure I spell that correctly. People don't like me either, and that's funny part is they don't think I notice, but I'm not stupid. We love you, Chrissy. You're loved here. I don't know what about other people. His name is Jermaine, and he's a huge fan of my stories. Might ask him about some of the crazy things he's seen as a cop. That's cool. And my father-in-law doesn't talk about his time when he was in law enforcement. So he was down. He was in probation officer down there where Zelda is, right? I believe. Is Boring part of Multnomah County? Zelda? I believe it is. Oh yeah, emotional abuse can be traumatizing. No, it's not. I thought it was. Well, but he was in probation in Multnomah County, and then he lived in. I always get these wrong. Wherever the university is that in Salem or is that Eugene? There, but Boring is Clackamas County. All right, I've been to Clackamas County quite a bit. You know, to the falls. Drive through there a lot on the way to and from Portland. You know, most of the time I'm about 50-50. I either stay on the Washington side or I take the Oregon side. Eugene, is that where the university is? Yeah, I always get them mixed up. I mean, she's got family all up and down um, from Boardman all the way to outside of Portland. You'd love to go to Ireland. I'm a Harrington. That's cool. Oregon State is Corvallis. Okay. Wow. I know he lived in one of those other towns too, and he was a probation officer there as well. Because that's what he ended up retiring from. You know what his profession was probation parole. You want to go to Scotland? Hubs is a William Wallace descendant. If you go to Scotland, Zelda, you can go online and you can look it up. The website, it's dateahotscot.com. All one word. Dateahotscot.com. They love women. They want you to come over to Scotland, Zelda. I mean, once you're done choking your current husband, just saying. I'm not advocating that you kill your husband, though. I'm just saying, you know. I think it's something like there is one woman for every 4 men in Scotland. Get me a rich hot Scot. There you go. Find a younger model. I always joke around with my wife. When she's done with me, trade me in for two that are half my age, 220, some year olds, or 225s, or whatever. Tell me about your experience with gambling addiction. Do you know anyone who's had that problem? I don't know anybody who's had a problem with gambling. Well, not personally. I mean, I know somebody through a friend of a friend who has kind of a gambling addiction, and it's probably the best damn thing since the casinos in our state are all closed because of the coronavirus, but they're all opening back up again. JJ51. I had a violent upbringing when I had my kids. I thought, How could he have done that to me and 4 other siblings? I'm sorry, JJ. Do you ever get those Scottish Terrier candies, Zelda? I love those. My mother-in-law buys one of those for me every year for Christmas. The container of Scottish, little Scottish dogs. Me too. He never hit my son or my granddaughter. Cookies, licorice ones, the licorice, black licorice. I asked because of the sequence to Raising Hell. The topic is brought up because Jordan meets the goddess of luck who lives in a casino in Las Vegas. Leave it to Beaver. I know somebody with a gambling addiction. It was awful. She was hooked on slots. She would put everything up for sale. We had to drag her out of the casino at night. Saddest shit ever. I know my mom and her mother. They take a tour bus to a casino in upstate Minnesota. They come and pick up the seniors from the small town that she lives in. They take them there and they play nickel slots. I guess they do that. That's like their only activity outside the home. Sad. I know some people. I think I'm crazy. I really feel sorry for any kind of a addict. Times like this, there's no where to go for real help. It's sad. Yeah, yeah. I was reading a thing in the paper the other day here locally. It has been almost 60 days since the NA and AA have been able to have meetings, so they can't. And all they've been able to do is just keep tabs on each other for those who have phone numbers, and sponsorships. It's not a sponsor, I guess they call it. But they're like 60 days. I mean, they don't know where half of the people that they were. They knew them from meetings, but apparently they don't know where they are. Well, those chihuahuas are my cue. I have to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. I want to play penny slots. My husband was so furious, so I didn't get to have any fun. But it's in my blood. I go down that path. Would be disastrous. I used to go visit my grandmother all the time, and she lived in McLaughlin, and she worked at Circus in the casino there in Las Vegas, and she worked in the ticket window booth for shows. And she told me, even as a young child, she goes, if you ever get into that, she goes, that'll be the last thing that you'll do, because you'll spend everything on that, chasing that high, that endorphin high. But everyone, thank you again for being here today. I will, after this, I will look into Brandon Urie's music. And leave it to Beaver. I will check my Facebook messages for your message. And for Carla and everybody else, next weekend I will try to put together a trivia for next Saturday. Everyone, have a wonderful day and stay safe out there, and have a happy Memorial Day weekend. And I will see you all again soon.